Looking for new strobes for your studio? Let's compare the Profoto B1x to the Westcott FJ400. All right, so you have a studio, you need new lights, you're looking to invest in gear, and there's all sorts of lighting equipment out there. So which is right for you? We've got the 800-pound gorilla of our industry, Profoto, no doubt. And we've got a newcomer, somewhat newcomer to the world of strobes, US-based company, Westcott FJ400. Let's just start getting to it on some of the comparisons. Now, of course, Profoto's B1x is not necessarily a new light. It's been on the market for a long time, but it is one of their most powerful battery-operated lights. And that's one of the things I'm looking at here. I want portability. And so you're gonna be looking for something that's battery-powered, something that you can have with you on location, whether it's on the beach, whether it's at an Airbnb that you're renting, just in the field in general. If you're in studio, of course, you can get something that's AC powered, but I gotta be honest with you, once batteries came out in an affordable way for these strobes, I have avoided plugging in a light in my studio at all costs, right? Those of you who've been in photography for a long time, maybe if you're new, this isn't something you've ever dealt with, but you got those power cords and you're moving your lights and you're tripping over those cords, it can be quite cumbersome. And so right out of the gate, these are two lights that I personally use, so I'm not just doing an unboxing video. These are my strobes. They weren't sent to me for a review. I'm just giving you feedback on where we're at today because things have changed over the years. The Profoto B1x, if I had to guess, I'm going off the top of my head, I did not look this up, but I want to say these strobes have been out for a 5 to 7 year window. Again, just going off the top of my head, whereas the FJ400 has only been out a few years. So will Profoto update this beast of a light sometime in the future with a 1,000-watt unit? That'd be interesting for sure. But right now, this is what we're going to compare here. So right out of the gate, if we compare just raw power, Profoto wins, right? Just big ding, thumbs up, 500 watts, 400 watts. Profoto's gonna take the cake. It's one of the most powerful strobes, battery-operated strobes that are out there on the market, okay? And you pay the price with it with a huge battery brick there. Now, nothing to do with the review, something I would tell you that I do anytime I buy one of these strobes with a battery, I always buy an extra. So if I have two strobes, if I've got one strobe, I've got two batteries. If I've got two strobes, I've got 4 batteries. I want to be able to switch out in the field and not have to run frantically to change that. The overall cost, the Profoto currently on B&H is $28.95 for a single unit, whereas the FJ Westcott is $599 for a single unit. Now, of course, the number right there is just staggering, right? You can get multiple lights. In fact, you can get a 2-light kit from Westcott, so 2 FJ400 strobes with a trigger for $1,379, which is a significant difference between the price points. So these are decisions you have to make, right? It's not about bashing one light over another, right? Because quality matters, durability matters, and we're gonna talk about some of those other things. But here are the numbers I thought would be interesting in comparing, because I always see other unboxing or comparison videos and you never really get down to the raw numbers, right? So it's easy to look at the numbers and be like, oh my God, $20-something $100 compared to $499. But check out this number. I thought this was interesting. Overall cost per watt. So it's 500 watts of power. So you could make the argument that, well, this is 500 and this is 400. It's not comparable. True, but it's like when you go to the grocery store and you buy a box of tissues that has 500 tissues in it and a box of tissues that has 400 tissues in it. Is the one more expensive than the other? What's your cost per tissue? So I just ran a calculation and I'm like, what's your cost per watt? What are you paying for watt of power? Well, the Profoto is $5.79 per watt of power compared to the FJ Westcott, which is $1.49 per watt of power. I mean, that's something to really consider. And the numbers, 289% more. So you're paying 289% more per watt of power on the Profoto unit than you are on the FJ Westcott. Is it worth it? It's hard for me to say it is, because the quality of light on this FJ400 is just as good. I don't care what anybody says. The results speak for themselves. And I've got a portfolio of images using the FJ400 for the last year that showcases I've had no issues with this. But let's keep going. So overall cost, check mark, win goes to Westcott. Recycle time. Profotos will recycle at 0.1 second to 1 full second, whereas Westcott will recycle at a half a second to 0.9 seconds. So the Westcott unit is recycling faster. Now, Westcott for the win, right? And that's at comparable power. Its lowest power setting to its highest power setting, meaning at full power, Profoto is going to recycle at 1 second, FJ Westcott at 0.9 seconds. Is it a big enough difference? It's pretty damn close, but it's still, win goes to FJ, to Westcott on that. I don't know why I keep saying FJ. Like me and FJ are friends. We go way back. I was at dinner last night with FJ. That's not what happened. Battery life. This is interesting as well. Profoto will give you 325. Of course, this is as advertised. I didn't sit here and press recycle 325 times. But as advertised, 325 full power flashes. This is interesting as well. I did something I don't see other reviews do. You got to let me know if this is even valuable to you. At full power, you can do 325 full power flashes at 500 watts. So this will push out, one single battery will push out 162,500 watts of total output. Maybe that stat's of interest to you or not. The Westcott though will do 480 compared to the 325 at 400 watts. So this battery is putting out a total of 192,000 watts of power over the course of a battery compared to Profoto 162,000 watts. You can see now there was no way I was going to remember all this stuff. Again, Westcott FJ400 for the win. Build quality. Now, not only does the Profoto unit feel more durable in construction quality, I like that the menu system is on the back. And so this is something worth noting here. Profoto has put on all their units, the controller, the screen, the dials, everything's on the back of the unit. For the Westcott, the FJ400, it's on the side. Now, this could be one of those arbitrary things that a person's reviewing. In my opinion, I love that Profoto has this on the back of the unit. Why? Have you ever dropped one of your units? I have, many times. Outside, wind gets it, somebody trips on it. Almost always the units, because you'll have something on the front, either falls face forward or falls to the side. By having this on the Profoto on the back of the unit and recessed, this screen is somewhat protected in my opinion. And I have dropped these units, they are built like tanks. And whereas the Westcott, I've never dropped this, but the build quality, the plastic is a little thinner, not quite as heavy. And with this on the side, my fear is that if this were to fall on the side, we would lose control of that. This would break. Now, some of the other features, in my opinion, are an absolute wash, right? Things like support for TTL, rear curtain sync, high-speed sync. There's 9 stops of power through the range in 10th stop increments, color temp consistency, et cetera, et cetera. The units are practically identical when it comes to that. They're negligible. So Profoto unit, I think they advertise color temp at 5,500 plus or minus 150 Kelvin. They advertise at like 5,300 plus or minus 150. So what the actual color temperature is not as important as its consistency, meaning if I fire 10 frames with this, is the color consistency through that range going to be consistent? And I can tell you both units, color temperature is extremely consistent. And you'll notice that when you get an image in the Lightroom and you're having to adjust all these dials from image to image because there's no color consistency. And some of your cheaper units that are from overseas, you will notice that the color consistency is just not there. And a little bit of that is what you pay for with it. One other thing worth mentioning that I think gives Westcott the advantage here is they have created a unit called the FJXR. And what this FJXR is, you can go to their website and look it up, is if you're in the Profoto system, that's all you're using is Profoto. Profoto is not going to work with any other brand of light. Okay, that's fine. I've got an entire system of Profoto. I've used it for years and years and years. But what happens is you start growing as a business. When I started out in photography, I used alien bees, I used white lightning, I've used Elechrome. What happens to all those lights? Well, if you move to the Profoto system, you have to abandon all those and just commit to that platform. You've seen that and you've experienced that if you've moved over. Westcott has created this unit I'm telling you about, and we'll put this on the screen. It's their FJXR. And what this allows you to do is use Elechrome, white lightning, anything with a, I believe it's like a flash port on it, basically looks like a stereo jack, where you can plug this unit in and now those lights will work in your FJ ecosystem. And I think that's pretty powerful as you're a growing studio looking to expand and not want to have to replace all your lights. I think that becomes really important for you. Now, just to summarize all this, guys, I've been using the FJ system for over a year now on various shoots, both paid shoots, portfolio work, on location, in the studio, and this hands down is worth the money, right? Pound for pound, dollar for dollar, I don't think you're going to see a better company on the marketplace. Now, don't get me wrong, I know you're gonna have your favorite lights, you're gonna go into the comments and light me up and let me know about all the other light companies that you use, and we'll do future reviews on them. But this is a US-based company. When you call support, you're getting a hold of somebody, they're gonna warranty their product. That stuff has to matter in the big scheme of things. And by the way, I'm not suggesting that Profoto does not support their product. They absolutely do. But there are companies out there that might have cheaper lights, but are you getting the support? Are you getting the quality, the durability? Are they gonna warranty their product? So you've got to think about those things when making the investment. So hopefully this has helped you. Give me a like, a comment below, subscribe to our channel if you want to see more videos like this, and we'll see you in a future video.